Hey, what's going on? This is another episode of the Reporter Vlog for August 16th, 2025 on a Saturday morning. Saturday morning, good old Saturday. Um, gonna try to. This is pretty much a story dump today. Gonna try to wipe out all these old stories off my Facebook page and have a clean slate. Pretty much a clean out of my Facebook page. These stories been on my page for too long. But the first story sends a message. Sort of father of a suspect in first Louisville bus stop shooting says he sought help for his son. Recently, the city of Louisville has been plagued by two pretty heavy drive-by shootings. I guess you can say, and this is just one of them. Story of a father, pretty much just like the title said, try to get help for his son. But let me move on for my little commentary, and the story tells um, to give his story a safety net. Let's get, in other words, let's get started on the story to give his news a safety net. Okay, give my credits is brought to you by WLKY with the publisher being Alex Suckow. Alex Suckow. It was updated on at 5:14 p.m. on August 13th, 2025. Uh, I guess no other dates on this story, but let's get right into it. Get right into it. Okay, two shootings near the same Louisville school bus stops in less than a week. Last Thursday, gunfire broke out in the Russell neighborhood as several kids awaited for the bus on the first day of school in Jefferson County Public School. No one was hurt, but it was a scary situation for those in the area. Two 15-year-olds had been arrested and are now facing 34 charges. 34. Less than a week later, shots rang out in the same area around the same time. And this time, a woman was killed. LMPD brought a 15-year-old into custody, but they were later released. The suspect is still at large. And the scene unfolded. The father of the first suspect arrested in the area and came by to see what was happening. He did a candid interview with WLKY's Madison Elliott about his son. He did I saw his picture. I was going on Facebook and I'm just scrolling. I noticed my son's build, his his height, and I'm just like his. It looks like my son. And so I read the caption, and I'm just like my heart sank. He said. He talked to us about the warning signs he saw and help. Yeah, he tried to get his son. He also said he was the one who turned his son in. Police have not yet confirmed whether the two shootings are connected. They still haven't confirmed whether the two shootings are connected. Matter of fact, they're not connected. They'll give a little update of this story because, like I said, this is pretty much a story dump of an old story, of old stories. Okay, basically, this guy He pretty much offered to help, but the son had to make a decision on his own to go the wrong way, and these are the results. Now he's pretty much in the court system, facing I guess you could say 34 counts by itself, or yeah, pretty much 34 counts. Um, uh, I really got a follow up story to this, but I'm just going on what I got right now. But it's something how you can offer the help, man, but they still make decisions to turn the wrong way. And as always, the results speak louder. The results teach more than when it's all said and done. And now he has to pay a price for pulling that trigger. Pay a price for pulling that trigger for some stupid reason. And that sums it all up. It's always for some stupid reason. Some stupid reason. 15 years old. But shout out to him for at least turning them in. He did more than anybody else, pretty much, because pretty much nobody. Matter of fact, he might be the first one in recent memory to pretty much turn in somebody, because you know the old code in the West End. You ain't no kill me. You know like I said, everybody knows the old code in the West End, especially if you live in Louisville. You know the code in the West. And that's it. And when it comes to snitching, in other words, when it comes to snitching. But that's all I got for this story. Let's move on, because like I said, this is basically a story dump. Okay, let's see. Bongo. Hold on just a minute. Okay, second story. Economics. Okay, pretty much economic story. Inflation remained stubborn in July as energy, food offset increases elsewhere. It's brought to you by MSNBC, NBC News. It's brought to you by MSNBC, NBC News, with the publisher being Rob Wiley, I guess. Uh, published on August 12, 2025 at 6:36 a.m. Updated on August 12, 2025 at 10:08 a.m. Inflation. The pace of consumer inflation remained steady in July. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reported Tuesday, as food and energy prices remained subdued. Yet the measure excluded those categories which tend to be more volatile. Showed the inflation rate increased, suggesting that the U.S. Economy remains hampered by rising pressures amid President Donald Trump's tariff push. The year-on-year increase of 2.7 for the broadest inflation measure was essentially unchanged from June to an undershot forecast for a 2.8 pickup, but the core measure climbed 3.1 up from 2.9 in June, the highest reading since February. The report showed mixed effects of the trade duties. Furniture prices growth picked up in July, while apparel price growth decelerated and appliance prices declined outright. The main drivers of inflation last month were largely in categories outside of trade like housing, airfare, and car insurance. There is some sign of tariff pass due a consumer prices, but at this stage, it is not significant enough to ring alarm bells. Seema Shah, chief strategist and principal asset management, said in a note following the report's release. They could still change, however, as stockpiled inventories purchased before the tariffs went into effect are departed. He said while the Federal Reserve is now even more likely to cut interest rates as its next meeting in September, more impact from tariffs could be in the offerings, Shah said. Tariff-induced boost to inflation is likely to grow over the coming months, meaning that inflationary pressures are likely to pick up just as the Fed start to resume rate cuts. She said in a social media post following the report release, Trump continued his hurricane of Fed Chair Jerome Powell to lower interest rates. Jerome too late. Powell must now lower the rate. He wrote, adding, unfortunately, the economy is so good that we've blown through Powell and the complacent board. The U.S. is now set to maintain tariff levels on goods imported from China at 30%, after Trump on Monday announced the additional 90-day extension on negotiations that suggests further uncertainty on the inflation outlook depend on talks between two countries. Tuesday's report is likely to be viewed favorably for the president, who has spent the past months urging Fed Chair Jerome Powell to lower the interest rates. Stock rose ahead of the market open in anticipation of borrowing cost easing. Monday evening, Trump named E.J. Toney chief economics at the far-right Heritage Foundation to head the Bureau of Labor Statistics after he fired its most recent commissioner earlier this month. After the release of a poor job report, Trump had accused the BLS top official Erica Naffiter of allowing the agency to manipulate job data, an allegation that remains unsubstantiated. Her August 1st firing has raised alarms across Washington among most mainstream economists who say that it could affect the integrity of the Labor Department data, which such data is routinely subject to revisions. There is no evidence that the most recent changes were politically motivated. And BLS spokesperson said Tuesday's Consumer Price Index report, which measures the growth of prices paid for consumers, would not be affected by the ouster of Intafeter. No official changes to the Bureau methodology have been announced in the past week. Presidents particularly keyed on into the data amid growing signs that his unprecedented tariff strategy is disrupting the economy, even though he maintains that the trade duties are making the U.S. strong and rich. Recent job growth has been anemic and increasingly concentrated in the narrow set of sectors, like healthcare and state and local government. The impact on consumer prices looks to be even more pronounced. Tariffs are taxes collected by the government on imported goods. I repeat that. Tariffs are taxes collected by the government on imported goods. Oh, jeez. Hundreds of billions of which flow into the U.S. each month. There has been been debate about who actually ends up footing the cost of the imported taxes, which economists agree shows up as inflation. Analysis with Goldman Sachs now estimate that consumers paid approximately 22% of tariff costs through June. In note, the declines that they said the figure could climb as much as 67% by year's end as business and supply chains adjust to the new regime. In that scenario, a separate inflation measure preferred by the Federal Reserve would rise to 3.2 in December, well ahead of the central bank official 2% target, the analysis said. Some economists are now raising the prospect that the tariffs are nudging the U.S. economy towards stagflation, which the job market weakens even as prices growth accelerates. This is considered one of the worst scenarios for the Federal Reserve, which is tasked by Congress with keeping both the unemployment and the rate of inflation low. Fed Chair Jerome Powell has indicated that if it weren't for Trump's tariffs, the Fed would have lowered interest rates. But now, in order to make borrowing in the economy cheaper and thus help boost employment. Under current conditions, with price pressures increasing, cutting rates become more difficult. In a stagflationary environment, it is dangerous to cut without clear evidence that the inflation has peaked. Bank of America economists wrote in a recent rate note to clients, in other words, lowering rates too soon risk further stoking inflation pressures by increasing the overall economic activity. Two of Trump's Fed appointees have a different view in remarks delivered Saturday. Michelle Bowman, the Fed's vice chair for supervision, said any inflationary impact from tariffs should only be considered a one-off, and that excluding those effects reveals as a pace of price growth that it is much more subdued. Fed Governor Christopher Waller offered a similar view early this month. The average central banking practice is to look through such price level effects as long as inflation expectations are anchored. Much of which they are, Waller said. This view is not shared by Powell, who said it remains unclear whether the inflationary impact from tariffs would prove to be short-lived. It's also possible that the inflationary effects could instead be more persistent. He said the congressional testimony in June avoiding the outcome will depend on the size of the tariff effects, on how long it takes for them to pass through fully to prices, and ultimately on keeping longer term inflation expectations well anchored. Some economists estimated it could take as long as 18 months for the tariffs impact to fully make their way through the economy. Bulk of the effects are still ahead of us. Diane Swank, chief economist at KMPG consulting firm, told the Today Show. But there you have it. That one. Can't really offer no little commentary on that one. Yes, yeah, but we'll give it to my audience. What do you think about that story? All that I can see is that his tariffs are not working, and they will not work because it's the government that's basically it's a collection. It's pretty much just a collection on on uh, on goods, like it said in the story. Yeah, that's what it pretty much is. He thinks it's helping out the American economy, but it isn't. Because, like I said before, America doesn't make their own things. They make some products, like in the automobile world, mainly. But other than that, it's all everybody else outside of America that pretty much helps America's economy out. Yeah, that's all it's to it. But he can't seem to see that. He thinks the collecting of taxes is going to help America. He thinks that the collecting of taxes of imported goods is going to help America. But that's it. That's the world he lives in, Donald J. Trump. But that's all for this story. Let's move on. Because like I said, it's a story dump. Okay, next story. Okay. Okay, next story. Okay, from economy to I guess infrastructure. Okay, these arrived Louisville area neighborhoods are getting new hospitals. New hospitals for the hoods. Okay, this is brought to you by the Courier Journal, with the publisher being Lillian Metzmeyer from the Louisville Courier Journal. Okay, local healthcare providers, including Baptist Health, LifeSpring Health Systems, Lawrence Children, and University of Louisville Health, have each announced new projects to expand services for urgent care, rehabilitation, and mental health across the region. Here's a look at 5 new medical centers or healthcare services that are either announced or open this summer. There's no follow up on these stories, or we're just reading what we got. Glen Mary Baptist Health ER and Urgent Care, 7702 Bardstown Road. Baptist Health, in Initiative Health, unveiled a third dual emergency and urgent care facility on July 31st. 11.4 square foot Baptist Health ER in the Urgent Care Glen Mary, 7702 Bardstown Road is an initiative and it provides a new type of triage service for patients, and according to the news release from the Baptist Health. The combined ER and urgent care facility eliminates the need for a patient and self-diagnose before seeking medical attention. According to the release, upon arrival, each patient is evaluated by a board certified emergency physician who determines the appropriate level of care required and will direct patients to either urgent and to emergent care. The facility will also use a unique billing model, charging only for the special health services provided according to the release. This approach not only potentially reduces out of pocket expenses, but also saves valuable time and alleviates the stress of choosing between ER and urgent care. The release states the ER is open 24/7, while the urgent care is open daily from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Lawrence Children's Hospital, the intersection of I-64 and I-265. Lawrence Healthcare announced in June plans to build a new full-service pediatric hospital in eastern Jefferson County as part of the 156-acre pediatric care campus along Tucker Station Road in the intersection of Interstate 64 and Interstate 265. Expansion will include a dedicated children's hospital for youth with complex medical needs, as well as the research facility and specialty services. This will be the second site dedicated to children's health. The other Norton Children's Hospital is located at 231 East Chestnut Street with a 24-hour ER. Russell Cox, president and CEO of Norton Healthcare and Norton Children, said the project is a once-in-a-generation opportunity to reimagine care for children and their families, the Courier Journal previously reported. Cox also said the expansion of Jefferson County's east end does not signal a replacement for the network downtown Children's Hospital. Construction is expected to be completed in phases over multiple years, with work on the hospital starting first. In the meantime, Norton will host listening sessions over the next year in Kentucky and Indiana, according to the Northern Children website. Groundbreaking date has not been announced. Turning Point Center Crisis Receiving and Stabilization Services. 1060 Sharon Drive, Jeffersonville, Indiana. A newly removed crisis received receiving and stabilization services unit opened this month at Turning Point Center by Life Spring Health Systems in southern Indiana. Turning Point Crisis Receiving and Stabilization Services until focuses on mental health and addiction services. Program serves as a 24-hour space and for individuals in the need for services to prevent an overdose, complete a needs assessment, and or slow down the timeline for of having to make an immediate decision that may not best meet the needs of the person in crisis, according to the LifeSpring website. Center is open from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. LifeSpring also operates a 24/7 call center at 833-723-3988. That's 833-723-3988. U of L Health Fraser Rehabilitation Institute, COSAR for Kids Pediatric Center at 4331 Churchman's Avenue. Fraser Rehabilitation Pediatric Program has expanded in South Louisville with the opening of the new Fraser Rehabilitation Institute Pediatric Center opened in the U of L Center of Women's and Health at the end of July. The new space at the Mary and Elizabeth Hospital campus accommodates more kids, staff, and decrease the wait time for physical and occupational and speech therapy for children from infancy through adolescence. In 2024, Fraser Rehab's outpatient network serves for more than 400 pediatric patients. COSAR for Kids, a local charity focused on pediatric care, gifted a grant for $500,000 toward the center's expansion. Injury and illness can have such a unique impact on children, and we are thankful to have COSAR for Kids as a partner. Dan Hudson, U of L Health Fraser Rehabilitation CEO, said in a new news release. This new center will expand access to the expertise needed to address our young patients' physical, emotional, and developmental needs. Expansion more than doubles the space dedicated to the pediatric rehab and offers support for autism, cerebral palsy, spinal cord injuries, traumatic brain injuries, scoliosis, Down syndrome, torticollis, dysphagia, and multi-traumas after motor vehicle accidents. Going to the release, the new facility opens from 8 a.m. 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. U of L Health Urgent Care Plus, Taylorsville, 847 Taylorsville Road, Taylorsville. As late July, Gilville Health has expanded an urgent care plus services into Taylorsville with the health system's sixth urgent care location in the state, and it's first in Spencer County. The practice at the 847 Taylorsville Road will be home base for 4 providers who will offer care for minor injuries, illnesses, and routine exams. Increasing access to health care for the Spencer County residents. The county is a medically under increasing access to health care to the county's residents. The county is a medically underserved area. According to the data from the Health Resources and Services Administration, it has a shortage of primary care in the region. The new facility is open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday until 6 p.m. on Sunday. All right. Keep in mind the addresses of them places in this article, especially if you live nearby and you have kids or any personal health problem. Personal health problem yourself. In other words, keep the addresses in mind. Ooh. Keep the addresses in mind. All right, let's see if I can squeeze in another one. See how many. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay. All right, got you. Yep. We got enough for one more because then you can only go so far with these with the kid. Oh, forgot about this one. Okay. Matter of fact, yeah, I think now let's see if I can squeeze in the last two. Okay. This is definitely old from August 12th, even though all these are pretty much old. Uh, former clerk from WR, former clerk says illegal immigrants paid $200 under the table for Kentucky drivers' licenses. Woo! Whistleblower. Okay, this is brought to you by WRB. pretty much Gilbert Corsi with the publisher on August 11, 2025, updated uh, August 13, 2025. Pretty much WRB didn't follow up over this story, but this is still, I guess you say, useful. Uh, Former clerk says illegal immigrants paid $200 under the table for their driver's licenses. Whew, man, under the table. In other words, yeah, Melissa Mormon claims the scheme happened 4 or 5 times a day for at least 2 years at multiple branches across the state. Whew, man, welcome to America. Hey. Former clerk at the Kentucky driver's license branch said co-workers sold illegal immigrants driver's licenses they couldn't legally obtain, charging $200 per license. Melissa Mormon claims the scheme happened for 4 or 5 times a day for at least 2 years at multiple branches across the state, according to the whistleblower lawsuit. When Mormon alerted the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet to the scam, she was fired. Wow. That says a lot right there. In other words, it was part of the scam, part of the deal. The employees were being paid. Employees were being paid under the table. Mormon told WRB News, "I immediately let my supervisor know." Mormon worked at the Louisville Legal Center licensing branch through Quantum Solutions. His staffing service contacted by the Commonwealth to supplement personnel at regional offices. WRB first reported on the state's license increased fraud investigation on April after obtaining a leaked renovation notice, according to the document obtained due an open records request. KYTC sent 1,546 letters warning recipients of irregularities in their licenses, saying that they were issued in error, valid, will be canceled, and threatening criminal charges if the license wasn't returned. At that time, KYTC confirmed that at least 2 terminations, one at the NEA Center in West Louisville and another at the Elizabethtown branch, but wouldn't release details. The cabinet denied requests for public documents and resignations, terminations, and letters sent to drivers, citing the outgoing investigations with the Kentucky State Police and the U.S. Attorney's Office. In total, KYTC withheld 2.3 records, 2,300 records. But Mormon's account offers 2 new details. She said that she was unwillingly roped into the scam when 2 co-workers began using her computer login, something her supervisor asked her to share because not all employees had their own, and she was training as a supervisor. Same co-workers had previously invited her to join a business venture. I was asked to bring certain customers in. Mormon said they are brought in to me without a sign-in. He would scan their documents as usual. Mormon said these documents included Social Security cards and birth certificates were made to look real and used It issued illegal immigrants driver's permits and licenses who never took the test. Mm. In October 2024, Mormon said she wrote a letter along with her supervisor to notify KYTC about the scheme. She said the fraud relied on skipping Homeland Security background checks, which she discovered when transactions were processed under her name while she was away from her desk. Man. Started getting these emails saying, "Are you doing this? Are you doing this?" Mormon said, "I'm not there for the day. Some things, some things start kind of coming together." I'm like, what's going on? According to her lawsuit, the two workers she reported, who WRB isn't naming because they haven't been charged criminally, were fired in late 2024. In January of 2025, a detective came to interview Mormon at work. She said she was terminated the same day. Came to work and my computer was turned off, and it was and that was it. Mormon said it was a gut punch. I was still in my supervisor training. It was a very good job for me. In April, KYTC said in a court filing, Mormon was fired for illegitimate and non-discriminatory reasons, not casually related to the alleged whistleblowing activity. Yeah. Uh-huh. Under Kentucky law, non-U.S. citizens may obtain a standard driver's license only if they provide legal present documentation, proof of residency. KYTC confirms the applicant's status through federal verification system. For immigrants, who don't have a pathway to obtain legal status, having a driver's license can mean the difference between getting home from work safely to their children, or wives, or husbands, and not immigration attorney Adian Trevedy said. But a relatively small price to be able to have the chance to avoid deportation, even just for that day, they're willing to take. Both Trivedi and Mormon said they believed the scheme and exploited vulnerable people. That pretty much sums up the story. Both Trivedi and Mormon said believed the scheme exploited vulnerable people. Scheme comes to light when the immigration stands at the forefront of a national political debate and draws high emotion and polar opposite opinions. The Trump administration cracked down on immigration, shifting policies to increase enforcement and deportations. It's shocking. This could go on at least at the Department of Transportation for so long, said Gary Adams. Mormon's attorney, why punish the employees who reported it? She should be the hero. There's a failure to supervise these employees. There's obviously no checks and balances. It would appear to me that if you have systems to safeguard these licenses, these tests, and also the fiscal and monetary function, an audit should be have been done. Bottom Solutions, KYTC, and Governor Andy Beshear's office declined to go on camera interviews. April Beshear admitted in an interview with WRB that there was an ongoing fraud investigation related to drivers and licensing in Kentucky. But when they asked if it had anything to do with the immigration, he said he wasn't aware. If accurate, this means the state top executive was unaware for at least 7 months, despite Mormon's letter in October 2024. Repeated inquiries from WDRB in early of 2025 and her lawsuit filed in April of 2025. The timeline raises questions about Bashir's denial. WNBA is now challenging KYTC's refusal to release 2.3 withheld records in court, arguing the public has a right to know. As for Mormon, she said her main goal is to get her job back. I was angry, hurt, and depressed, she said. I did the right thing and I told the truth. I should not have been fired. Man, oh man. Pretty much, yep. Pretty much sums it up. Since some people that did the scheme got fired, everybody was part of it. Everybody was part of it. $200 under the table. Well, like I said, welcome to America. At least Trump's America. Yeah, taking them people's money, knowing they need a driver's license to stay in America. You know, pretty much sums it up in one line. Let's see if I can find it. See if I can find it. See if I can find it. Yep, here we go. Both Ready and Mormon said that they believe the scheme exploited vulnerable people. Words they came to need, but they had to pay for what they needed. $200 under the table. Well, whew. Man. All right, on to the final one. I'm gonna fit all 4 of these stories on here. All right, on to the final one. The final one. Let's see. Okay. Okay. And with the final story of this story dump, Trump puts the RA in Washington. Trump puts Washington, D.C. police under federal control, deploys National Guard. as well. But the follow up is pretty much they already are in Washington acting foolish or looking foolish, walking the streets of Washington right now. It's pretty much a follow up of this story. Okay, credits. This is brought to you by MSNBC or CNBC. The publisher being Kevin Browninger. Kevin Browninger. President Donald Trump on Monday placed the Washington, D.C. Police Department under federal control, or already has placed them under federal control, and deployed 800 National Guards troops in the capital city to address what he claimed was out-of-control crime there. It's the first time that the president had federalized the Metropolitan Police Department. Trump move drew fierce condemnation from local officials who noted that the official statistics show some crime in D.C. is on the decline. I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor. And worse, Trump said at the start of the news conference at the White House, "This is the Liberation Day for D.C., and we're going to take the capital back," he said. Of the roughly 800 National Guard members Trump ordered to D.C., about 100 to 200 will be aiding law enforcement at any given time for administrative, logistics, and physical presence, NBC News reported. D.C. Attorney General Brian Schwab called Trump's actions unprecedented, unnecessary, and unlawful, and signaled his office would take action to challenge the administration. There's no crime emergency in the District of Columbia. Violent crime in D.C. reached historic 30-year low, said last year. It's down another 26 so far this year, Schwab said in an X post. "We are considering all of our options and will do what is necessary to protect the rights of safety of the district's residents," he said. You go. Gotta go straight in the bathroom. You gotta go straight in. Yeah, you're at my door now. Gotta pass Elena and go straight in.